Pack it in now, it's time to begin. We're gonna get it started. Just believe in your dream and you know you can be anything you want it.
What's going on, guys? I'm the startup chauffeur and I interview inspiring startup founders. You ask questions, they answer them. Today I'm joined by Pierre Beck, founder of Fox Drinks Luxembourg. Pierre, your elevator pitch starts right now.
Thank you. So Fox Drinks Luxembourg is a young Luxembourgish startup that produces and markets low-calorie, low-carb, sugar-free and vegan drinks.
What's the story behind Fox Drinks Luxembourg and how did you come up with the idea?
Actually, I came up with the idea because of a personal need. I was overweight. I had 150 kilograms and
Wow,
so
okay.
I had to lose some weight. So I completely changed my nutrition and adopted a low-carb lifestyle. During that time, I came up with the idea to launch a low-carb beer so that I can drink with my new lifestyle.
Okay, so you didn't want to miss out on drinking beer while being on a diet?
Yeah, that's right. So
Okay.
I always enjoyed going out on the weekends, and so I wanted to have a beer for myself, actually.
What is your marketing strategy for Fox Drinks Luxembourg? How do you market your product?
Marketing is really important. Branding and marketing, the most important things in setting up a startup. What we do is we focus a lot on social media. We work a lot with influencers and we do a lot of events.
New beer is very popular in Luxembourg, also amongst young people. It's trendy to drink Fox beer. How did Fox beer become so popular?
I think it was because we do a lot on social media and because we try to work a lot with people, do a lot of pictures, filming with people, events, not just like old school commercials on TV. They market their beers just like drinking it, like, how good is it? It's not realistic, that's just everything is played. It's like it's really is a TV commercial and people cannot relate to that.
Let's get straight to the questions.
Okay, tasty beer, but why Fox beer? Hashtag askfounders. We named our products Fox because it is pronounced exactly the same in all the languages. Also because of the Luxembourgish history, because of the Reinhardt, it's something that people can relate to in Luxembourg. Is your Fox beer alcohol-free? Hashtag askfounders. This is actually an important question because our Fox beer is not alcohol-free, but many people, they think that our Fox beer is alcohol-free. But it has actually the same alcohol by volume as a normal beer. There's an elderly woman who said to us, yeah, I drink Fox beer every day, every evening, and I sleep very well, even if there's no alcohol in it. So he said, no, actually there is alcohol in it. That's why she sleeps well every night. That's actually because of the alcohol, but yeah.
Okay, so low calorie, low carb,
and sugar-free.
sugar-free, while keeping the same alcohol level.
Yes. Since your industry is quite unique, how do you compete with established brewing companies? Are they collaborative? Hashtag askfounders. The brewing sector in Luxembourg is quite unique. So, of course, there are some brewing companies that are not that happy that we are there now. But actually, I think we are a niche product. And most of the brewing companies, they are even quite collaborative. What lesson did you learn as a founder that you wish you knew when you started? Hashtag askfounders. The biggest lesson I learned is that everything takes time and everything takes more time than you expect or that you plan. For example, all the administrative tasks and work, you have to fill in papers and papers and papers, and it always takes time to get an answer.
So you have to count in more time and also more money because it takes more time, right?
Yes, you're right, yeah. What has been the biggest barrier, bureaucratic obstacle, financial shortage during the whole startup process? Hashtag askfounders. The biggest barrier we had was cash in the beginning. So because we ran out of cash quite fast, but then we really got the help of the bank Bill here in Luxembourg. They have a very special program for startups and we are very thankful for that. Would you change anything if you could use a time machine and restart Fox? Hashtag askfounders. I don't think that I would change anything in the macro. Of course, there are small things we learned and I would do differently now, but all in all, I wouldn't change.
What is the biggest lesson you learned?
Just start and then adapt along the way. Don't wait until you have everything perfect, but just go out, start with a product and then really adapt. How did you develop the Fox beer recipe? What is different? What were the challenges in finding the perfect fit? #askfounders. We actually developed our recipe with a research brewery in Germany, so it was a partnership with them, and they developed the recipe for us. They were really interested in that because it was something very new, and they actually developed a whole new brewing process. So we are actually the first ones in Europe with that brewing process. Many people ask us, why don't you have a patent for it or something? Yeah. And I always tell them that if we file for a patent, then actually the whole brewing process is being published, and so the other brewing companies, they can kind of copy the brewing process. That's why we just keep it for ourselves, we keep it secret, like the Coca-Cola recipe. They used to say, never go into business with family and friends, but if I'm correct, you build a business with your wife, a family business. What's your intake? Any advice on how to build a business with the loved ones? #askfounders. It was the best decision I made because my better half, Katrin, and we are a good team because we have complementary skills. Yeah. So she's really more on the marketing side, I'm more on the product side. The big advantage of having a business with your partner is that you don't just work from 8 to 5, or I don't know, but you can really work on the weekends, you can work on the evenings, and that's what we do as well. So you can work a lot more, get more done.
Probably it doesn't feel like work because you're constantly thinking about Fox Drinks Luxembourg, about your company, and so does your wife or your partner. Yeah. And so you're constantly, whenever an idea comes up or you're thinking about it, oh, we could implement this. You can easily discuss it with your partner that's sitting next to you, right?
Yeah, right.
You can just go for dinner, talk about your company.
Yeah, right. It also has some disadvantages because you're always talking about business.
Are you working full-time on Fox Drinks Luxembourg, or do you have a job besides that?
We are not yet working full-time on it. My better half, she's working as a teacher, and I'm still finishing my master's degree. So it's kind of our hobby. Sometimes it's really hard. When other people are working, you have to be at university, or like my better half, she has to be in school. So it's really hard. That's why I also missed a lot of university classes.
How does your day look like? You have to be organized, structured, or what's your advice tip? How do you do that?
Yeah, you have to be really organized, and we work a lot in the evening. We work a lot on the weekends, during vacation. Why Fox Cremant, and what is different from other sparkling wines? #askfounders. Normal thing you do after you launch your first beer is actually launch the second beer. But we are a bit different. We want Fox as a brand is not just a beer brand, but we want it as a lifestyle brand. That's why we came up with a whole new product with the Cremant. Actually the same concept, fewer calories, no sugar at all, no carbs, but same alcohol by volume as a normal Cremant. So it's exactly the same as the beer, but just in Cremant. So we had the idea of launching a Cremant at quite the same time than the beer. It's not that easy to launch a Cremant. A beer, you can just produce it, and after 6-7 weeks you can launch it. But with our Cremant, for instance, has aged over 3 years now on the lease. So it takes a lot more time than just launching a beer. And that's why we first launched the beer and then the Cremant.
A lot of people have the misconception that they have to go to university in order to start a company. What have you learned while studying entrepreneurship, and what's the benefit of studying before launching a company?
The main benefit is that you are constantly working with people who are interested in entrepreneurship, who are thinking like you do. The university has good partnerships with the local institutions, so with co-working spaces. For example, we get co-working space for free if you are a student, so you have some advantages.
Basically just to make connections and to be surrounded by like-minded people.
Yes, I think that's the main point.
What about the skills that you learned at university? Have you learned them while doing Fox beer, or have you acquired them while being at university?
I think the theoretical part you learn in university accounts for, I don't know, like 2 or 3%, and the rest really you learn while doing it. What are the future plans for Fox? #askfounders. I won't tell everything now, but I can tell you that there's one new product coming in April now 2019, and we are working a lot on new things, on new ideas, so stay tuned.
What would you give as an advice for people who say, okay, when I get home from work or when I get home from uni, I'm too tired, I don't really feel like working on my startup idea? What advice would you give them?
When you're too tired to work on your startup, then that's nothing for you. That's the first thing. When you come home at 5 or at 6, you still can work until 11 or 12. So you can still get a lot of things done in the evening.
So motivation is not the key, but passion or drive for what you do is actually.
I think it's really the passion. If you have a passion for something, then you just do it. You don't think about it, and you work in the evening, you work on the weekends.
So you also make time when you're tired or don't feel like working on it.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like work.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yeah, correct.
Pierre, this is your chance. What message do you want to get out?
One last advice maybe for everybody who wants to start a startup. I would say just do it. Just don't overthink something. Just start and you will learn a lot, even if your business fails. Sometimes happens too, but you will learn lifetime experience. And also make sure to follow us on Instagram, foxdrinks.lu.
Guys, we reached the end of the interview. Thank you very much for sharing your questions. Make sure to follow Startup Chauffeur on social media and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Remember, you ask questions, they answer them.